Good morning, students. Welcome back to our online session. In previous lecture, we see the round robin algorithm. The round robin algorithm is designed for the time sharing system. In that, the processes are scheduled according to the round robin manner when they are arranged in the ready queue order of arrival sequence. That is, the ready queue is treated as a circular queue. A small unit of time is called as time quantum, and it is also called as a time slice. In this method, a ready queue is concerned and treated as a circular queue, and each process or job has assigned an equal time slice to execute. Let's take one example. This is three processes P1, P2, P3 and their respective CPU burst time, and consider time quantum for this example is 4 milliseconds. So initially, every time these three processes take the 4 milliseconds for the execution. The processes which having same CPU time, they are executed as per the first come first serve. So let's represent the Gantt chart. First, P1 is executed for 4 milliseconds. So initially its waiting time is 0 and completed its 4 milliseconds because in this algorithm quantum time is 4 milliseconds. Next, P2 get executed and it does not require total 4 milliseconds because its CPU burst time is 3 milliseconds. So within a quantum time, it will get executed successfully. So 4 plus 3, it's a 7. Likewise, P3 also does not require 4 milliseconds because it's CPU burst time. So 7 plus 3, it's 10. Now continue, take the 4 quantum for P1 till its CPU burst time is not completed. So 10 plus 4, 14, 14 plus 4, it's 18, 18 plus 4 is a 22, 22 plus 4 is 26, and last 26 plus 4, it's a 30. Here its all CPU burst time is get completed, means P1 is now terminated successfully. So let's calculate its waiting time. P1 waiting time, total waiting time is 10 and its previous executed, so minus 4, it's a 6. P2 it's 4 millisecond and P3 it's a 7 millisecond. Take the average of that. 6 plus 4 plus 7 divided by 3, it's a 17 divided by 3, it's a 5.66 millisecond. Likewise, take the turnaround time. P1 its turnaround time is 30, P2 its turnaround time 7, P3 its turnaround time 10. Take the average of that. 30 plus 7 plus 10 divided by 3, it's a 47 divided by 3 is equal to 16.66 millisecond. It's the example of turnaround time. Now today we are going to discuss the next CPU scheduling algorithm, that is priority scheduling algorithm. As per their name, in this algorithm priority is very important. So let's see what is the priority scheduling algorithm. The priority scheduling is the method of scheduling processes that is based on priority. In this algorithm, the scheduler selects the tasks to work as per the priority. The processes with higher priority should be carried out first, whereas jobs with the equal priorities are carried out on a round robin algorithm or FCFS basis. Mostly FCFS is preferred when the jobs having equal priorities. Priority depends upon memory requirements, time requirements. So in short, in this algorithm, the highest priority processes is given In short, in this algorithm, the highest priority processes is given the CPU time first and then the next highest priority processes and then next and so on. This will be continued till all the processes get scheduled. Equal priority processes are scheduled in the FCFS, that means first come first serve order. Priority based schedulings are two types, that is preemptive scheduling and non-preemptive scheduling. In preemptive scheduling, the tasks are mostly assigned with their priorities. Sometimes it is important to run a task with the higher priority before another lower priority task. Even if the lower priority task is still running, the lower priority task hold for some time and resume when the higher priority task finishes its execution. Means, if a new process arrives with a higher priority than the current running process, the incoming process is put at the head of the ready queue, which means after the execution of the current process, it will be processed. Sometimes it is important to execute higher priority tasks immediately, even when a task is currently being executed. For example, when a phone call is received, the CPU is immediately assigned to this task even if some other application is currently being used. This is because the incoming phone call has a higher priority than other tasks. This is a perfect example of priority preemptive scheduling. If a task with higher priority than the current task being executed arrives, then the control of CPU is taken from the current task and given to the higher priority task. Likewise, take the example our mobile phone. On mobile phone, someone is calling, then we take the priority for the received call. Likewise, we do something on mobile phone, but when once call is arrived, then we take the call first and then complete the task which is already running. That is the preemptive scheduling. And next, the non-preemptive scheduling. In this type of scheduling method, the CPU has been allocated to a specific process. The process that keeps the CPU busy will release the CPU either by switching context or terminating program. Means, if a new process arrives with the higher priority than current running process, the incoming process is put at the head of the ready queue, which means after the execution of current process, it will be processed. Means, currently running process is completed its task and then assign a new arrival higher priority process. That is called as a non-preemptive scheduling algorithm. Let's take the example. Before that, we will see the characteristics of priority scheduling. A priority CPU scheduling algorithm that schedules processes based on priority. It used in operating system for performing batch processes. If two jobs having the same priority are ready, it works on first come first serve basis. In priority scheduling, a number is assigned to each process that indicate its priority level. Lower number is the higher priority. In this type of scheduling algorithm, if a new process arrives that is having a higher priority than the currently running process, then currently running process is preempted. Let's take the example. First, we will take the example for non-preemptive scheduling algorithm. Let's take the example. Here, 5 processes having their CPU time and their priorities. It's P1, P2, P3, P4 and P5 having CPU time. P1 is 10, P2 is 1, P3 is 2, P4 is 1 and P5 is 5. And P4 having the same CPU time. Here it executed as per the first come first serve and their priorities. Priorities on the basis of low number having a higher priority means here the P2 has a higher priority. After that P5, after that P1, after that P3 and finally P4 will be executed. Let's represent in Gantt chart. First P2 will executed first because it having a higher priority. Its priority is first. Initially P2 is waiting time is 0 and it's now it executed for 1 millisecond. After P2 executed P5. P5 it requires 5 milliseconds, so 1 plus 5 it's a 6. Next P1 get executed, it having a 10 millisecond, so 6 plus 10 it's a 16. Next P3 will executed, it requires 2 milliseconds, so 16 plus 2 it's a 18. And finally P4 will be executed because it having a lower priority, it's a 5 and it requires 1 millisecond. It's a 18 plus 1 is 19. Let's calculate the waiting time for each processes. P1 having waiting time is 6, P2 its waiting time is 0, P3 its waiting time is 16 millisecond, P4 having its 18 millisecond and P5 its waiting time is 1. Take the average of that is P1 plus P3 P plus P4 plus P5 divided by 5. It's 6 plus 0 plus 16 plus 18 plus 1 divided by 5. Its average waiting time is 8.2 millisecond. Now let's calculate the turnaround time for each process. P1 having 16 millisecond, P2 having 1 millisecond, P3 having 18 millisecond, P4 having 19 millisecond and P5 having 6 millisecond. Take the average of that 16 plus 1 plus 18 plus 19 plus 6 divided by 5 is equal to 12 millisecond. It's the average turnaround time for this example. Now we will see the next example for the preemptive scheduling. Let's take another example for the preemptive scheduling algorithm for the priority. There are 4 processes, that is P1, P2, P3 and P4 having burst time 8, 1, 3, 2. Its priority is 3, 1, 2, 3. Here the 2 processes having same priority, that is P1 and P4. These 2 processes get executed as per the first come first serve. Now let's represent in Gantt chart. Initially in preemptive scheduling algorithm, P1 is executed. Its waiting time is 0. After that P1 is entered in the system and compare its priority, and P2 has a higher priority than P1, so P1 will executed for 1 millisecond and P2 is get executed. When P2 is getting executed, at that time P3 will enter, but its priority is lower than P1, so P2, so P2 will execute completely, so its burst time is 1. P1's 1 millisecond and P2's its total burst time is 1, so 1 plus 1 is 2. After that P3 will executed because P4 having a lower priority than P3, so P3 will executed completely and its burst time is 3, so 2 plus 3 it's a 5 millisecond. After that P1 and P4 it having same priority, so it will be executed as per the first come first serve. As per the first come first serve, P1 will executed first. So P1 initially 1 millisecond is executed, so remaining 7 millisecond, so 5 plus 7 it's 12, and lastly P4 will get executed and its CPU burst time is 2. So 12 plus 2 it's a 14 millisecond. Here all are get executed completely. Now let's calculate the waiting time for each processes. P1 process having waiting time, it's 5 minus 1, it's 4 millisecond. P2, its waiting time is 1 minus its arrival time, 1 minus 1, it's a 0. P3, its waiting time is 5 minus its arrival time is 2 is 3. P4 its waiting time is 12 minus its arrival time is 3 is equal to 9. Take the average of that. 4 plus 0 plus 3 plus 9 divided by 4, it's a 4 millisecond. Now let's calculate the turnaround time for each processes. P1 its turnaround time is 12 minus 0, its arrival time is equal to 12 millisecond. P2, it is total turnaround time is 2 minus its arrival time 1 is 2 minus 1 is 1 millisecond. P3, its total arrival time is 12 minus 2 it's the 10, and P4 its total turnaround is 14 minus arrival time is 3 is equal to 11. Take the average of that, that is 12 plus 1 plus 10 plus 11 divided by 4 is equal to 8.5 millisecond. It is the example of preemptive priority scheduling algorithm. Hope so you will understand the difference between non-preemptive priority scheduling algorithm and preemptive scheduling algorithm. In short, the basic of priority scheduling algorithm, the highest priority process is given the CPU time first and then the next highest priority and so on. This will be continue till all the process get scheduled, and equal priority processes are scheduled in FCFS order. And there are two types of scheduling, that is the priority preemptive scheduling and priority non-preemptive scheduling. In priority preemptive scheduling, it is important to execute higher priority tasks immediately even when task is currently being executed. An example, we will see the phone call. And next, that is the priority non-preemptive scheduling. It is unlike priority preemptive scheduling. Even if a task with a higher priority arrives, it has to wait for the current task to release the CPU before it can be executed. And it is often used in various hardware processes such as a timer.